Welcome back to Surviving and Thriving as we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving, right smack dab in the midst of it. In the hopes that something that we share with you will help you, enlighten you, and encourage you as you transition your family from struggling to survive disease to thriving, right smack dab in the midst of it. I would like to share with y'all today. Hopefully, there are people who are not going through overcoming, conquering health challenges within their own lives, but hopefully, some people who know some people and love some people who are watching this today. There's some things I want to share with you. Some things that those people who are going through, not all of them, but a lot of us, would like for you to know and be aware of. Are you ready? I'm going to share some insight with you. Things that we would like for you all to know. Here we go. Don't treat us like an invalid. You know, there are some things that we might not be able to do at times, right? But we don't want the opportunity to be taken from us to do certain things or to be treated as if there's things that we should not do. That is really frustrating. Also, don't talk over us like we're not there. That is an irritating thing. Just because a person has a disability or has a health challenge does not make them incapacitated. Even if a person is not able to talk clearly or maybe even not even able to speak, don't talk over people like they're not there. Even children, don't talk over children or act like they're not there. You should acknowledge all people, especially when you're dealing with those people or you're handling things that's concerning a person. My husband is my caregiver. There has been many times where he had to do all the speaking for me. But it is irritating if you're talking about my health and talking about what's best for me, but you're not even acting like I'm in the room. I am right there. Acknowledge me, consider me. That is irritating. So always consider the people that you love that are going through. Don't overlook them. Don't treat them like an invalid and just say, well, they can't do something. They may not be able to do it, but always treat them as if they are able to do it. And if they do something and it doesn't go out right, don't act like, well, you shouldn't have been doing that, or look down on them like you're not supposed to be doing something like that. We are all people, right? And we're all human beings, and nobody wants to be treated like they're not capable, able, or grown enough to be able to do it, right? So those are some things that you might want to keep in mind and consider. Let's see, what else can I share with you? Well, here we go. You ready? If you're not very well acquainted with what I'm going through, especially if you don't know me or whoever it is that you're going through, you technically don't have the right to go around asking questions, right? To be like, ooh, you can see a port. I have a port right here, right? So a lot of times people will come up to me who don't even know me and be like, ooh, what happened right there? What you got? What is this? Or assume you think you know what I'm going through because you see something on me. Well, you know what? Ports are used for many things. Just because I have one doesn't mean that you know what it's for, and it's none of your business. I am not about to start opening up and divulging my whole health history to some stranger just because they nosy and they want to know something. Here's another one. You ready? I don't care what happened to your grandmama or your baby mama's uncle, cousin, sister. I really don't care. You keep all them stories to yourself. Just because you have noticed or you know that I'm going through something doesn't mean that I need to know everybody that you know or has heard of what they are, have, or may be going through. I really don't care. And if you know something that you want to share, if it isn't going to be helpful, if it isn't going to be insightful and encouraging, keep that stuff to yourself. I don't need to know about somebody who went through something and they died in a hard time they had. How is that going to benefit me? You can keep that stuff to yourself. Don't nobody want to hear all that crap. Sorry, but we really don't want to hear it, and that is what it is. It is just crap. If you really don't know me up close, if you really don't know me like that, and you don't really know what I'm going through, don't question me on what I should not, or can or cannot be doing. If I went out to eat, here's an example so that you can make it practical. I went out to eat with a lady, went to get an EKG so I can get a surgery. And I don't have heart problems, but the EKG was to make sure you're strong enough to go through the surgery because, this surgery is a major surgery, so they just want to make sure everything is good. And so I get an EKG, meet a lady, hit it off. She works there, right? Hey, we got a lot in common. I want to get some wisdom from her because we both homeschool. Her kids have already made it through college. Mine ain't, so I'm trying to get some wisdom for her. I take her out to eat, and I order some food. She has no idea what I'm going through. All she knows is that I went to get an EKG. So she says, hey, are you allowed to eat that? What you mean am I allowed to eat that? I'm allowed to eat anything I want to put in my mouth. I'm a grown woman, right? Hey, what do you mean am I allowed to eat that? You know nothing about my history or nothing. Even if it was something I ordered, which I didn't, I eat, I take care of myself. I do what's best for my body. I'm not going to put something in my body that I'm not supposed to. But even if I did, that's my choice and my right. Who are you to question me about what I can and cannot eat and can and cannot do? When I found out later, well, she was the one with all the health issues. She's the one who should have been eating what she had. But even if I choose to eat something, I am making a choice. I know what I'm going to have to suffer for it and what I'm going to have to pay for it. I don't need you questioning me. You're not in my caregiver. You're not in my inner circle. You don't have the right to be questioning me about things that I am or am not doing. Here's another one. You ready? If you don't have insight and wisdom on what I'm going through, I don't need you coming around trying to give me your diagnosis. I didn't ask you for one. If I wanted your diagnosis, I would have came and asked you for a diagnosis. But I know what I'm dealing with. You don't know what I'm dealing with. So quit trying to figure it out. And really what you're trying to do is be nosy on the slot. I don't know how many times people will come up and say, ooh, I know what it is you got, and you need to do this and this and that and this and that. You don't know what I have, and you are not a doctor, so don't come and start trying to tell me all the things that I need to do. Just because your mama ate an apple every day don't mean I need to eat an apple every single day of my life. You don't know what I got going on over here, so don't start trying to diagnose me and don't start trying to prescribe me something as if you know what's going on, because you really don't know what's going on. Here's another one. If you really don't know what's going on, keep your mouth shut. I don't need you speculating. I don't need you going around putting your mouth negative on anything that I'm going through. No, none of us need any of that. We got enough that we're fighting that we don't need to be fighting your mouth too. You can't be positive. My mama used to say, if you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all. Just zip it up if you can't say nothing positive. If you can't be encouraging, just keep your mouth shut. Here's a big one. Ready? Here it is, right? Just because I'm not in a hospital doesn't mean that what I'm going through is not a crisis. Doesn't mean it's not big. Just because a person has gotten out of the hospital doesn't mean they're fully recovered and everything is okay. A lot of times people assume that if you're not in the hospital, then what you're going through is not a big deal. Or if you're in a hospital, that's the only time that it's a crisis mode. So if the hospital release you, oh, it's all good now. She all right. She out the hospital. Everything is okay. No. When people get out the hospital, it's still oftentimes a struggle. And just because you're in the hospital and you got released, guess what? Recovery is just beginning. It's a process to recover. It's a process to get over all of that stuff. So don't make no assumptions that you think that because a person's not in the hospital, they're okay. Or because they've been released from the hospital, everything's all good. Sometimes you can be released from the hospital and it's still a kind of touchy situation. So just be mindful of some of those things. So we love y'all. Appreciate your friendship. Appreciate your attention. Appreciate your love. Just be mindful of some of the things that you say. And that's just kind of proper etiquette when you're dealing with people who are dealing with health issues. So if this isn't for you, maybe you know somebody who could use it. Share it with them on the sly, right? Maybe they can get a little insight on how to deal with people who are overcoming health challenges in their body. Hope something in there was helpful for you. Until next time, bye.